you're entering the 2014 season and you feel like you've just fallen short a couple times. There's a quote from Joey Johns where walking off the field after bowing out to the Bulldogs, he says to you, "This won't be the last time you're here, so use this feeling that you have now as motivation." But you experience that same feeling in 2013 where you bow out in the prelim again.
Yep.
So 2014, there feels like there's an aligned vision. There's so much pain that's been, I guess, transformed into purpose for a whole squad. And you have all of these club legends of whom you were one of that are now so determined that 2014 is going to be this year. Talk to me about the mentality going into that season and the mindset that's led by guys like yourself, Sam Burgess, your coach Madge, guys like Sutto, who have all been there and experienced that pain before that 2014 season.
Yeah, well, I'll take you back to 2012 when we lost that game. That was through, I got injured, so I couldn't have a say on the outcome. So I was, disappointed with it, but, I couldn't have a say whether the result was going to go our way or against us. We fast forward 12 months to the Manly game, and I played the whole game and probably didn't play my best game. There was parts I was happy with, but parts that I wasn't happy with. So that probably left a bigger burning feeling in the guts. We're up 12-0. We stopped playing football. Manly come back, all the momentum, they get the job done. We go into the next pre-season. We lose a couple of senior players, and Royce Tarsi, Michael Crocker, some influential people in the team. So the younger generation that was in that team who have now got a bit of experience, well, I need to step up, others need to step up. We've got some motivating factors in and amongst that as well. Sam Burgess is leaving, Ben Teo's leaving. So there's an opportunity there and a window. We know we can do something special, but it's not. We were sort of guiding through the season, waiting for the finals to happen, and then to get to the finals and relate back those two seasons, and you bring up, some past trauma and whatnot, and you use that again as motivating factors, and it just felt like we were never going to lose. I mean, we beat Manly, who were red hot at the time. I think we put 30 on them at half time and coasted through to the end of the game. Through to the prelim, we beat the Roosters. We were down 12-0, come back. Sorry.
I was on the train in Italy on a family holiday with interrupted reception. And I'm like, I think we were up, right?
Yeah, 12-0.
And I'm like, oh, beauty. And then like an hour later, I finally get reception back and I'm like, you're kidding.
Yeah, so, I mean, they beat us the week before the finals to win the minor premiership. And that sort of left a burning feeling as well. So there was a lot of motivating factors, but we knew we were never going to get beat. There was a wave of support, emotion, drive. It was just meant to happen. We lost Isaac Luke through the week, through suspension. That was another motivating factor. So it was like the stars aligned for us, and we were ready to, take our time and take what was ours.
You know what I love? That you talk about these motivating factors, but they're actually moments that are what most people from the outside looking in would identify as extreme adversity, as something going wrong in the picture. Because it doesn't paint perfection, does it?
No.
But it certainly sets you up for what is a fairy tale finish. So let's talk about Grand Final day. I remember watching that game very early in the game, which I know you didn't recognise because you're in the heat of the moment.
Yep.
Sammy Burgess fractures his cheekbone, is it not? And straight away, you're like, far out, he's gone.
Yep.
He goes on to play the game. So let's freeze frame. Talk about him as a character and how important he was to the squad.
Yeah, extremely, extremely important. I mean, a leader of men, so vocal and dominant with his actions, tough, resilient, demands respect from everyone. So he's the ultimate professional. I mean, he was so dialed in. He knew he was leaving after that game. He was going on to rugby union, so he was going to leave nothing in the tank. And you didn't want to let him down. You didn't want to ever let him down or, not do your job because he's right on your tail there to either give you a spray or, lead to worse things, putting him off his game and not allowing him to be his best. So we had a great relationship where if he went the other side and went a bit too fiery, I could pull him back in the line and there wasn't too many that could do that. I'm thankful that he allowed me to be that person to do that. And, I always felt like I had a calming influence over people. I never let the emotions get too heated or, too high. We had this saying on the line, so you didn't want to go above the line or below the line too much. But he was so influential amongst the whole team. Big reason why we did get the job done. And, as tough as they come, I seen him break a finger one day where the bone popped out of the finger and strapped it up and got on with it. Had surgery pretty much straight after the game and played 5 days later. So toughness was never an issue with Sammy. But yeah, like you said, that moment is quite, special in itself. To break your cheekbone on the first tackle, not only to just get through the game, but the way he did it in. He won Clive Churchill. He had so many tackles, so many hit-ups, and was influential through his actions through that game.
Talk to me about a player like GI. He's the guy that goes over and puts the icing on the cake, that famous Goanna celebration.
Yeah.
It's something that I feel like is burned into the memory of any rugby league fan who remembers that game back in 2014. He's a player who strikes me as very different to a guy like Semi. Still dominant, still a commanding presence, but very measured, very calm. What was your relationship with GI like? Yeah,
good. We were so tight as a group, the whole group. I think you need to be connected in rugby league. If you are to have a successful team, the whole team needs to be connected. GI was a big part of that. Whether it was socials, team dinners, he was always leading from the front in organising those and, surrounding himself with the boys. For someone who's got such a big presence in our game, willing to give and learn, give time, and teach younger players what to do. That was his leadership style, and we all know how dominant he can be on a field with his ball running. His defence. It was a nightmare spending time with him in wrestle sessions and trying to bring him down. But yeah, I think he just makes everyone around him better, purely by his presence on the field. There's only a handful of players that I've played with that have had that presence on the field, and you see it. You see it in the defensive line. People are looking for Greggy. Where's Greggy? Sometimes they get out of the way, which is nice. But it allows others to be great as well, because everyone focuses on Greg rather than focusing on actually what's important and what's happening right now. But yeah, he was just as equally important to our team as Sammy, if not more.
So after he slides over, we unpause the freeze frame, and the imminence of victory is incredibly present. There's no chance that you're being beaten at that point in time. The team is celebrating. You know that grand final trophy will be lifted. After so long, after signing that first extension for the club, after going through some difficulty with injury and a little bit of a failure to launch in your very early years, before you got that debut, I remember you inked a letter to the club to say that you were thankful for their faith in re-signing you at this early stage of your career, and that you would do everything in your power to make sure that the team got to lift a Premiership trophy once again.
Yep. What
did it feel like to actually lift that trophy above your head and know that you'd accomplished that dream?
It was heavy, firstly, the trophy. Not going to lie. It was a great feeling. I've never been one to put all the praise on myself. I'll try and deflect that to my teammates and everyone around me. But to see, how happy the club was, the people who have been there from, day one, to be kicked out of the competition, to see the fight, the fans be loyal, to see grown men cry is, pretty cool. The impact you can have on people's lives, through results of a rugby league game is quite special. To see how happy Redfern was. I've seen vision of Redfern Oval, people sitting in the park watching it on the big screen, celebrating with strangers. There's no better feeling as a rugby league player than when you can give your fans that feeling. And there wasn't a lot to like about South Sydney in the early 90s, wooden spoons. We were the laughing stock of the rugby league, and to fight our way back to the top, through some, influential people. George Piggins has got a lot to to be credited for, the fight he had to get South back into the comp, along with the rest of the board. They fought a hell of a long fight to make that happen, and most importantly, the fans to be so loyal and stick through, some rough times to then celebrate at the end of that 80 minutes was, more rewarding than, actual doing it myself.